I think yeah, the reason why I'm working out now is so I could be longer in this world, so I can spend more time with them. Just being healthy, and then I don't want to see them. I don't want them to see me like chugging a beer or smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And even when I do stretches at home, like they copy me, so I know they're recording everything they see now,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
that's important, man. I think for me it's important. Because even like what I say, what comes out of my mouth, what I do, like they copy every little thing. So I just try to be the best example I can for the boys and for the girl.
Now we're really vibing.
Okay, we're here with Kreate from Lab Ratz, $7 Fresh Sox. Real pleasure to have a Virginia legend, as a lot of people have referred to you as here on the podcast. So yeah, happy to have you here.
Happy to be here, man. What up,
Yeah,
Dean?
yeah. What's up? I
What's
think
up,
we met.
everybody?
Yeah, we were just talking about this. Like we met maybe 11 years ago. I think at Circle Prince, Vancouver.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a trip.
that was good times. Yeah.
Yeah, I went without money, just broke as hell.
Oh, for real? Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
but
think
it
it
was
was
a good
good.
trip.
Yeah, it was good to have you out there, and just a good influence on the scene to see people like you and have you out there. Yeah, Circle Prince was a good jam too.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope seeing the Canadian b-boys because I was so familiar to the moves and the vocabularies that you guys used that I saw in like videos, and then to witness it live, it was a dope experience.
Nice.
It was a good atmosphere to be in.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's something
Not
that
a
I
lot
want
of
to get
toys.
to later because I know, like, in particular, guys like Megas had a big influence on you, right?
Yeah,
But I
huge.
think maybe before we get into that, just in case like people don't know who you are, do you
Yeah.
mind just kind of getting into a little bit about your history and like how you started, that kind of stuff?
So I started breaking in Virginia in '97 when I saw LOZ, the first generation LOZ. I didn't even know they were LOZ. I was still 12 or 13 years old, if I'm not mistaken, and I was just at a mall and I saw them. It was Ghost, Snoop Cybot, Golden Child, and Scrambles, and just seeing like the different nationalities and races, just having fun and just dancing. It looked like they had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and it caught my eyes. But before seeing them breaking, I already saw breaking back in Indonesia back in the late '80s before I moved to the States. But just at the time, there was no community, no scene for me to learn breaking, So I kind of put that aside till I moved to the States. And even like the first 2 years in the state, I was playing ball because that was the first love, basketball. And then I just realized that wasn't the sport for me because the blacks were just too good, man. You just can't beat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started in '97 and then got down with Arrived to Defy. It was a crew that Xeno, Beta, Zemex, and Xeno was living in Virginia at the time because he had to move out of Miami for some reason, I don't know what. But yeah, he put me down. I learned a lot from him. He introduced me to the right people, I think. Yeah, yeah, they must be the right people because he was chilling with the dope dudes, with the raw guys from Miami. So he brought up some of the Miami dudes a couple of times to Virginia, and took me to New York to meet a couple of guys, and yeah, that's the brief history of how I got into it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I heard a lot about Xeno from, it's kind of random. Like over the years,
Yeah.
I've met just a bunch of people from Virginia or like that kind of area for whatever reason. And yeah, Xeno I was really surprised to hear that he was like a really kind of influential guy in the scene at the time. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I always saw him as a Miami or like a Florida kind of guy, like Flipside Kings and that kind of thing. And I had no idea about this other part of the history of like him at least somewhat helping to build the Virginia scene. Yeah.
Yeah, he was there in 96 till 2000 or 99. Because I went to Hook and Roast the Most too, and he already moved back to Florida then. And yeah, he's back with the Flipside Kings and everybody else. But I thought I thought the same thing. I thought he was just like inspirational, influential around our area. But later on, as I started traveling, meeting the people that we know, the big names people, like they know him as well. They know him as that raw guy, you know. And yeah, he's just that dude that you have to know. I think if you were breaking it in our era, you have to know Xeno.
Yeah. Virginia has like a really interesting like history. I don't know. Yeah, big mixture. Like, you know, I never really thought of it as this. I just never really thought of it as I just didn't even know about it, right? But yeah, again, like for whatever reason, like connecting with some of the guys from Lab Ratz and I guess the people that know them, like
I think LOZ kind of laid down the blueprint for tri-state. It was Maryland, DC, and Virginia, and they were influenced by Ground Zero and Style Elements big time. So people were breaking like them until Xeno came around. Xeno came around and just brought that rawness there and the foundation, and innovating stuff from basics. And I saw that I saw what LOZ brought. I saw what Xeno brought, and then I also saw what the Miami Head brought. So I could just kind of mix it up all in one.
Right.
And then I saw the Canadians, and that's where it took off.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, like, how would you describe the kind of difference between, say, that older LOZ style and then the kind of style that Xeno brought when he moved up there?
What do you mean?
Like how would you say the older LOZ guys, like, what was their kind of way of breaking or their approach or whatever?
Their approach was you have to be able to break with every parts of your body, which is a pretty dope concept. And I kind of took that in too, because you know most the traditional is just footwork and then back rock, and then I think what LSG brought to the game, it was kind of a mixture of style elements and Ground Zero all put together. But I can't really say because they came around the same era as Ground Zero actually, so it was a mix.
Right.
But the first generation LOZ didn't change their style when they saw Xeno, and neither did Xeno. So it was just kind of a mutual respect, appreciating like one's style with another.
Right.
Yeah.
But for you personally, it was like you had those kind of two different influences, right?
Yeah.
While you were coming up.
And then I watched Style Elements a lot, and then the Renegades. They were doing power. I can't really do power, not as good as them, but it was fun to watch. But I watched a whole lot of Battle Squad and how they get down, you know. So I just kind of mix all that into a pot and then just flip it.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you said that you got the Canadian influence. How did that happen?
Yeah, that happened when Xeno took me to New York, I think back in '99. Uh that that's when that's when KML blew up after he came back from a Battle of the Year '98, if you remember. That's when people started talking about him. So he was like, Xeno was like, "Yo, Kreate, you gotta come to New York with me. We're gonna hang out with KML and his boys." And it was me, Rudy Goblin, Stiff from Street Master, Louisville, and Venus, Xeno's ex. We drove up there expecting to just hang out and kick it with Kamel. And then I saw this other black dude, skinny, small one, which was Megas. I didn't know who he was. And then we were just breaking, and fuck, man, he was the guy. He was the guy that blew me away. And that was not. It was only '99, so I think Megas' prime was in like '97, '98, right? So it wasn't not
Like
it wasn't far from his prime, and he was doing like Blair '90s both ways, man, and just other crazy shit. It was mind blowing. And I think after I met Megas, that's when my mind just opened up, and I really like that style. I like that style so much that I told myself that I can't do origamis because then I would look like Megas.
Yeah.
But I was just inspired by his concept of breaking. It was
Yeah,
nice. His and his crew, Boogie Brats.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I heard just some funny stories about Migas where like this is like more recently. So he hadn't been breaking as much as, back then, but he was at a practice and they were like doing halos or something like that. And then one of my friends was talking with him. He said, "Okay, yeah, what about your bad side? How can you do them on your bad side?" He's like, "What do you mean? Like that was my bad side." And he was already doing it. Yeah. And like, this is like out of practice Migas, right?
Yeah, man.
Whatever. But yeah, the guy was just like I don't know, crazy thinker. He had everything, right?
Yeah. I think you had to be that crazy to be as good as he was. You can't be normal. I mean, look at female now.
I think so.
You gotta have that crazy side.
Yeah, for sure.
And Xeno too, man. Everybody knows Xeno is crazy.
Well, yeah,
he's the man.
Like artists, right?
Yeah.
Or the artistic side, I guess, whatever, creative side.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's a little bit wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I was also kind of curious about like Lab Ratz.
Yeah.
And just kind of like how that crew kind of came about.
So when Xeno left, I still had expectation of him representing Iraq to Defy, the crew that he created in Virginia. But then when I went to Miami for Who Grows the Most 2, I saw that he was getting back and representing the Flipside Kings again, which wasn't wrong, but just kind of broke my heart at the time because I was young, So when I went back to Virginia, I linked up with some of these brothers, the Puerto Rican brothers. They've been breaking for a while as well. They've been breaking since the LOZ days, but they were just more of the underground guys. But I knew these dudes were just raw and fresh from way back in the day. So after Xeno left, there were no more ATD, and it just I don't know, man. The fire. I still had the fire in me, and I still wanted to break and battle and all that stuff. So I kind of had to find other people to break with, and it was just it was them. They were there,
Yeah.
So I started building with them and then training with them, and then we just became the Lab Ratz. Yeah, that's it.
Is there any history behind that name? Like, where's it come
from? I remember after coming back from New York, hanging out with Megas, there was this one summer where we literally break like every day, 7 days a week for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I got good, or how we got good. So we just kept telling each other, let's go to the lab. Yeah, it was literally every day, 7 days a week for 3 months. I remember that. And yeah, that's how the name come about, man. Lab Ratz.
It's a good name. Um, yeah. Like since I met like the other guys in your crew, like I always had a deep respect for just the way you guys approach the dance and do your thing, and like it's just a fresh crew. Like, that's all there is to
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, the underground guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about it though. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's just me personally. I always like
There, there, there were also this crew from San Francisco back in early 2000. Their crew is called the Rat Pack. Have you heard?
I think so. I think like Rory and Mark, when they went to like Renegade's anniversary, they like
Yeah, they were
randomly
from.
battled them in like a cipher or something like that.
Yeah, they were the underground dudes from San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just funny that we both got rats in our crew name, the Rat Pack.
Did those crews
Yeah,
ever battle? Did they ever have
I
a?
think just around San Francisco or in the West Coast. I'm not sure. I never met him. I just saw him
Okay.
in Profo's videos. Or
Okay.
Eder from $7. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, coming back to Lab Ratz, and everyone just has that kind of a style that only works in the underground. Not only works, but like
Yeah.
it's only appreciated in the underground kind of scene or whatever. Like it's a
Yeah,
below the
true.
surface kind of thing. Like you got to think a little deeper to appreciate it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I think what's his name? Toxic. He has this one transition where it's just like he does like a James Brown split kind of thing, and then just hops into windmills, and it's like I've never seen anyone do anything like that. And it's just it's so simple. Like it's such a simple idea, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's not simple, and
yeah. We were really hard on ourselves on being original. And yeah, just I think the era now and then was different as well, because back then in the States especially, you had to be original. If not you get called out, or get called a biter. And it's just a way for people to know where you're from as well back then, because the Virginia b-boys dance certain way, Miami certain way, Philly certain way. So we had to be different than the New York heads, than the Boston heads. Every time we go to jams, you would see them, and we don't want to look like them. But I think the case now is I don't know. I don't really watch b-boying anymore, man. It's weird. Like people at work, my staff mostly are b-boys, and they're the ones that would update me if there are like any new fresh b-boys.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a different time than back then,
for sure.
But something that it's like me and Mark talk about sometimes, or just Mark talks about it on his own. Like, there's good things about the YouTube kind of era and the modern era of everyone being connected and everyone being able to share everything. But there's some things that get lost in that like the mystery of breaking, like not knowing about this person or someone kind of coming out of nowhere. It's way less frequent, that kind of thing. And that excitement of mystery is kind of lost these days.
And people travel less, I think, because they feel like they can see everything through the internet these days,
kind of. There's less
back
reason
then,
for people to
travel.
But I think that's what makes a guy like Bounce so interesting, where like he just kind of, he's like, you just always hear stories about him, but you never really see him until you actually go and see him.
He just made a Instagram.
Well, and now it's a new era. Yeah, that's true.
I just found it, man. Like I was like, Bounce,
super random.
SR. I was like, shadow rocking, and then I DM'd him. I was like, is this Bounce? He's like, yeah. I'm out the cave. I was like, all right, cool. It's good.
He's
no longer
to find in the shadows.
It's good to be back in touch with him, because I lost touch with a lot of b-boys, man. Like 3 years ago, some shit happened, and I wasn't mentally stable, so I had to peace out from everybody.
Damn, that's you know, sometimes you need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good that, you know, you're able to reconnect again and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I turned on my my old Instagram, and it's good. It's good to be back. That's why sometimes I'll be writing on my Instagram stories. You know,
Oh yeah.
like I just appreciate like the scene, the friendships I've made. Is dope.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
Like, that's kind of
so I
something
made
that.
a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I made like a lot of friends from b-boying, and then, you know, like 3 years ago, I just rolled out without saying anything. Yeah, it's weird, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm kind of curious about yeah, some of these other crews that you represent, like $7 and Fresh Sox, and like, as far as I know, Fresh Sox is like Australia crew, right?
Yeah. So
Or
for
based crew.
yeah, the majorities are Australian, but Katsu's in there too. Katsu's
Yeah.
me and Katsu reps almost the same crews, except our core crew. You know, my core would be Lab Ratz, his would be Style Valetudo, and then me and Katsu just took the same path on traveling around Asia, that we met the same people and we got down with the same crews. With Fresh Sox, I went to Australia in 2004 because I moved back to Indonesia in 2003, and then pretty much roasted everybody. So I wanted a whole new challenge, and I had to look at our neighbor countries, you know, countries that are nearby. So went to Singapore, won a battle there, and then they told me to go to Australia. So I went to Australia and asked around who was the dopest, the rawest, and they said it was Fresh Hop. So met them at the jam, and I battled, I think, 5 or 6 of them in the cipher.
Oh damn.
And it was dope. It was one of the best cipher ever for me. And just after that battle, we kicked it, we hung out, and then the next day they asked me if I wanted to rap, and
Oh damn.
and it was a good connection with the guys. The similarities, and we have a lot of things in common. It's just like their characters, their attitudes. You know, they're similar to the Lab Ratz guys. That's why I told them like I was down to rap. You know, and for the $7, Adder, one of the founder of $7 used to live in Australia, and then Amjad went there for holidays, and they know the Fresh Sox dude as well, because some Fresh Sox dudes are actually in $7. So, but the story of how I got down in $7 was when we won a battle in Singapore in 2006. I battled with Rush, the $7 Australia, and Eder, the $7 Swiss. And then they put me down, and then the next year I went to Swiss to visit, just to get to know the whole crew. You know, it was just something I had to do. And that's when that's when I went for Circle Kings Swiss. Right. And but at that time I was already slowing down and breaking, like not training, and I just felt like the passion slowly fading away for some reason.
Right.
I think you can tell from my trip to Vancouver. I was just blazed the whole trip, man.
Yeah. But like, I think that's totally natural for people to slow down, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep that same kind of fire, or maybe it turns into a different fire, but like to keep that original kind of like, I want to train, I want to get better, I want to smoke everybody, I want to get my name out there, that kind of thing, or whatever, build my rep or whatever.
Yeah, I still have that competitive side, but I apply it on my business now. I run a clothing company here. I've been running it since 2010, and I've just been, I don't know, you know, we b-boys, we battle, you know, we call out people, and the people here in the clothing industries aren't familiar to that. So I was just calling them out and trash talking them.
Is this like other brands in Indonesia?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because I told them this is like streetwear, you know. This is what we do. This is what people in hip hop do, and they don't know that, you know. So I got hated on, but no more. I don't call them out anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that aspect of your life, the business side, the clothing side?
I have a clothing line. It's called Urbane Inc. Urbane is the French word for urban, and I think you pronounce it Urbang, but you know, people over here they just yeah, I think so. I think, but you know, people over here they would just pronounce it how they read it, so it comes off as Urbane. We've been running since 2010 till now, so that's about 11 years. I got a pretty big team at the office, like 10, 12 people, and they're pretty much former b-boys and dancers that also likes clothing. So yeah, so that's been going on, and the reason why I started it because I just felt like I needed an industry where I can express myself still, like how I was with b-boying, and then also make money at the same time, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Ideally, you could do that with dance, but it's not always the most profitable.
Exactly. Yeah. I went through. I was broke for like 2-3 years because we would have a lot of jams here. I would judge like from 2003 till 2015. All I did was just judging because we would have like 3 to 4 jams like every month. But during Ramadan, there's no events, right? So I always felt broke during Ramadan. So I told myself, nah, I can't be like this. I gotta start something. I gotta create something. So I started that streetwear brand, and it's been going on till now. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Do you think like has your breaking background? You mentioned a little bit about it, like the breaking mentality or the hip hop mentality, like coming into that your business and how you ran it or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that kind of bled in or that influenced the way that you run the company or whatever? Or not.
My other partner is he's a street baller, like a basketball player.
Oh, okay.
And he's got the same mentality as me. So it kind of runs in the company. And then my other partner is my older cousin, who I learned. Actually, I saw hip hop through him because he was breaking back in the 80s.
Oh,
he's 5 years older. Yeah, and he also got the same competitive drive as me. So we just pretty much live off the competitive sides from ourselves. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm competitive. I don't know why. If I do something, you just got to be good at it, you know, or I want to be good at it.
Yeah. I think if you have your own business or whatever, that's kind of essential, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah. But you know, people that aren't from the hip hop culture, they're not used to that. So kind of like a shock for them.
Fair enough. Yeah.
They don't know.
I'm also kind of curious about just sort of the Indonesia scene, like maybe even not even just say breaking, but like maybe the hip hop scene or even the streetwear scene. Anything that you could talk about with regards to that?
I think out of all of the 4 elements of hip hop, the biggest one would be the MCing, rap, because that blew up first in Indonesia in the early 90s. I don't know how it blew up. I don't know why it was MCing first that blew up, but it's still the biggest. It's still the biggest element in hip hop in Indonesia. We have Def Jam here, so they signed a couple of artists, like local artists. Yeah, I think Def Jam expanded to Southeast Asia, so So we have Def Jam Singapore and Malaysia and
Okay.
Indonesia, Thailand, I think. As far as DJs, I think scratch DJs, battle DJs, we don't have that many here. Although we do have the Red Bull DJ Championship or whatever they call it. We have those annually here,
Okay.
but not as big. And graffiti is all right. Graffiti is okay. There was this one era, I think in the early 2000s, where they were the biggest. They were just bombing everywhere, and it was just new to the people here. Seeing walls being colorful, and then with pieces and tags. But as far as the biggest, I think it's still the rappers, the MCs. B boys were not the biggest, but they were the famous. You get what I mean? Because we would just go to the clubs, and we just knew like the party animals, like the cool people, the cool crowd in Jakarta.
Right.
They would go to clubs, and yeah, man, we would just party. B-boys party. Because the rappers, the graffiti, they don't party.
Oh, really?
Like we do. Yeah.
Not even the
And we would
rappers?
just, nah, back then, they don't party like us. They party, but they don't turn up. Yeah, but yeah, it was pretty much the B-boys and the DJs at the clubs.
Right.
But the B-boys were the coolest ones. You know how it is.
Coolest,
the
but
whole
maybe
city knows.
Coolest, but maybe the brokest.
Yeah. Well, at that time, man, I was doing a couple of TV shows. So somehow I was making money. I don't know where that money went though.
What kind of TV shows were you doing?
And I moved there in 2003, and then by 2004, we had this a b-boy battle on TV. So it was yeah, that went on for 4 years actually. So we would go around Indonesia, and then we would hold 3-on-3 b-boy battle and 3-on-3 hip hop dance battle. And at the same time, I was also judging this street ball event that lasted also 4 years. It was the biggest street ball event. Like they would fly out Dennis Rodman, Allen Iverson as guests for the grand finals, and for the b-boy battles for the grand finals, we flew out a couple of international as well. I remember flying out Beast Mode, Milky, Venom, some other dudes, but
yeah.
there was a time here where we had a lot of big international b-boys event. I've flown out a couple of international b-boys here, like Flea, Luigi, Kid David, who else? Wing, Why Not, Pookie been here, El Nino, the Popper Salah from France, the family. Yeah, those Blanca, if you know him, Blanca, Bounce been here, Amjad been here.
Damn.
Yeah, all those was just for an event.
Yeah.
So at one point, I think it was from 2004 till 2015. The scene was alive, and people was making money, but it had died out since till now.
Yeah, that's something that, like, just in the last kind of episode that I did, I was talking with Complex. I don't know if you know Complex. He's like a dancer from kind of Seattle area. But anyway,
yeah,
we were just talking about this kind of thing. Like he brought it up as a good point that like breaking seems to get it has these like ups and downs, these peaks and valleys. Like it'll get really big and then it just kind of dies out, and it's got to restart again, and then it gets to a certain point, and there's like almost like a plateau that it reaches, and once it hits that, it's like, all right, it's done. It restarts. It restarts. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Same thing as the 80s and the 90s, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, there's never anything that like kind of keeps it there constantly, I guess. Whereas something like MCing is just kind of, since it blew up, it's just kind of stayed in the public kind of like awareness or consciousness or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah. They're lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's crazy to hear that this is all in Jakarta.
Yeah. Jakarta and Bali.
And Bali.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. Well,
just
yeah. Around that time I was getting thrown out to judge around here as well. Yeah, I think there were just a lot of jams going on everywhere at that time, even in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I was getting flown out to Australia, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, like twice a year, you know, for every country. Traveling was just crazy.
Right.
It just sucks we didn't have Instagram back then. I would have had a lot of followers. All good.
Yeah. But just speaking about like underground, the people that are underground and less in the spotlight, but still dope. Like I always kind of thought, since I found out about it, like Southeast Asia to me, if you're talking about a global scene or whatever, like Southeast Asia is one of those areas where there's just so many like really good people that are just, I don't know, for whatever reason, they're not like, maybe they're not traveling outside of Southeast Asia or whatever, but it's got like such a cool scene.
Yeah. It's raw, man, for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think the reason why the kids here doesn't travel is because it's the currency, you know. I don't want to call them third world because Jakarta, Indonesia is not really a third world. If you come here, is developed compared to like Thailand or Vietnam or Cambodia or Laos. But I think that's the problem for these kids. They don't get enough exposure, and when they do, it's only through if they win Battle of the Year or R16, you know, and just saving up with Southeast Asian money to go to the west side is just it's equivalent to like 10 times stronger. You got to save up 10 times like longer, you know.
Right.
But for those that have been here, like if I've traveled, I can call myself. I've traveled a couple of countries, and I think these kids, man, the Thailand kids and the Vietnamese, fuck, man, there's so many underground raw b-boys out there. It's crazy. Like they don't get any exposure. Some of them are so dope. Like they've been on top in where they are, in where they're at, until to a point where they stop breaking already, and they still don't get exposure, you know. So people didn't witness them like in their prime. That sucks. But luckily I got to see that, and fuck, I can say these dudes can hang if they go like to a Circle Kings or Circle Prince, you know. Yeah. Even maybe a couple of qualifier for Red Bull. I don't know about the final Red Bull. Fuck, those dudes are heavyweights. Yeah. But some Vietnamese b-boys, man, I was judging one time in Vietnam. Fuck, man, they just blew my mind. Yeah. Like, I couldn't tell what they were doing. It was just crazy shit. It was just next level shit, man.
Yeah, like I think that's maybe one thing that's so cool about a jam like Radical Force is that it's this big international event that happens in kind of the middle of Southeast Asia. Yeah. And like people from all over the place come, and it's developed this reputation of like one of those jams to just come out to. The competition level is high, but it's like it's something that you just want to go to be a part of, to experience that kind of thing. Yeah. And then when you go, you get exposed to all these like different scenes and stuff. Yeah.
And it's affordable. I think for them to go to Singapore is it's affordable. They should be able to go. Yeah. Because a lot of Indonesians been to RF. I think like 30% of that jam are Indonesians.
But yeah, it's cool. Like you get to see a bit of the all over Southeast Asia, like, and even in in their. Sorry,
have you been to the Radical Force?
I went 3 years ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like I think I would have appreciated it more if I went like now, I was kind of in this weird mental space that during that time, so it was kind of hard to appreciate it. And I was like, had some weird like self-pity, kind of like, oh, I feel so alone, that kind of thing. I was kind of like, I didn't know anybody. I just knew Nick's pretty much.
Yeah.
But
I stopped going to Radical Force in 2015, I think, because that's when I got married. And then the next year we had a kid. So I think that's also a factor why I stopped traveling.
Yeah, for sure.
Got
Totally
my own family
reasonable.
Got 3 kids now. So
damn, 3.
wherever, so anytime I want to travel, I gotta save up and bring them, and it's not cheap.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like, it's, to me, it's totally natural that people tend to slow down or like become like less active in the scene, or at least in the international kind of scene or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's all different ways that people can contribute, right? Like, you know, you have your clothing company that's like employing people in the scene.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good thing.
Yep.
But Southeast Asia, they've got a lot of good underground people that deserve a lot more attention, I think, than they get.
Yeah, but they just lack in discipline, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like these dudes are good, but I think the good ones are the, what do you call it? Just talented.
Yeah.
Not naturally good at it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, these are not like the kids that actually put in time, and I guess we have that many naturally talented kids.
Yeah, could be,
man.
Yeah, but I think if you want to be one of those like top tier upper echelon kind of dancers, like it takes something extra. You can't just be naturally talented. Yeah, like you see it all the time with the people that I know that are at that level. Like they work their ass off and they're like so focused and
for sure
doing stuff outside of like, well, I'll just go to practice and just do stuff. It's like they're like, oh, I gotta think about my fitness, I gotta think about what I'm eating, this kind of stuff. Like, it's pretty crazy.
And I wasn't one of them.
Yeah, I wasn't like that either until more recently, where it's like, oh, I'm getting old and I gotta start thinking about like, I want to be able to keep doing this even if it's just casually, like but if I don't take care of my body and don't like maintain stuff, stuff just falls
that's why
apart.
I work out now. Like I've been doing CrossFit for almost a year now. And before getting into CrossFit, I was always a fan of sports. You know, always want to test. Always want to test my physique, like what I could do and what I cannot. And before that, I was cycling. Before that, I was running. But like even bodybuilding, I was doing that for like a couple of months back in the days. But till I started doing CrossFit, I think CrossFit is just a complete version of everything, man. That shit fucks you up, and it's a challenge for me. I like it, you know, because you get the cardio, you get the lifting, you get your chest all burned up. It's not powerlifting, you know. You have to lift 1 or 2 times. CrossFit is crazy, man. The program is crazy, and that's the new challenge for me. I think I can say that my passion is in staying fit and doing CrossFit now. It's weird.
Hey, that's a good passion. I think like fitness is something where people are kind of getting it more now, as they're realizing how important like your actual physical health is these days.
Yeah. I'm actually getting ready for a competition in September, bro.
Is it a CrossFit competition?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I know I'm not gonna win because I'm gonna compete against these 20-year-olds, you know. But I just like to see where I'm at. You know? I like seeing that. I like testing myself, you know.
Yeah, I think that's really important. You know.
Yeah, so I've stopped drinking, I've stopped smoking cigarettes, although you're not supposed to or should smoke cigarette because it's not good. But you know, Indonesian's number one consumer.
Are they actually?
Cigarettes. Yeah, bro.
Oh shit.
Too many dumb people here, including myself, smoke cigarettes.
But they're like relaxing, aren't they?
Cigarettes?
No, I don't know. I've never smoked cigarettes. So.
I don't know, man. So I think you just get carried because everybody does it.
Hmm.
So at times I would feel weird if I don't have a cigarette in my hand because I would be doing nothing. But
Right.
but I'm trying to stop. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to tell people like I'm not trying to promote it.
I just heard
it kind
about
of holds me back from working out when I smoke cigarettes.
Right. Well, hey, maybe that's I was reading this thing about like power of habit and that kind of thing, and one of the ways some people deal with like their addiction or whatever is they just try and replace that, like, you know, I feel this thing and this need to smoke a cigarette or drink a beer or whatever it is, and they find a way to like replace that with something else that gives them the same feeling or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't work for everyone, but like that was just interesting to think about. Like, it's like triggers.
Yeah, because I think I'm addicted to breaking sweats. You know, like If I don't break a sweat a day, it would feel weird.
Yeah.
You know? Just that feeling of being drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
I like it.
So that's cool to hear. Like your CrossFit adventures now is kind of like maybe that's replacing your cigarette like need to smoke a cigarette or whatever. Hello.
This is the second born.
Second baby. Oh man.
He's turning 2.
What's
turning
his name?
2 in his name is Shaquille.
Shaq. Oh, nice. Hello, Shaq.
He's the wild one.
Yeah.
But yeah, replacing cigarette with fitness, working out. Yeah, that's where I'm at now, man.
That's a real healthy replacement, I think. Create the family, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe that's something that we can kind of maybe finish up on, is like just becoming a family man and just maybe how has that changed anything in your thinking or whatever?
For sure. Like I think the reason why I'm working out now is so I could be longer in this world, so I can spend more time with them, you know. It's just being healthy, and then I don't want to see them. I don't want them to see me like chugging a beer or smoking a cigarette, you know.
Yeah.
And even when I do stretches at home, like they copy me, so I know they're recording everything they see now. And,
yeah, for sure.
And that's important, man. I think for me, it's important. Because even like what I say, what comes out of my mouth, what I do, like they copy every little thing. So I just try to be the best example I can for the boys and for the girl.
Yeah, it's a good mentality, I think. It's important for the older generation. You have a big influence on the younger generation.
Yeah, man. I hope they hear that part. Because
the
younger generation just saw me partying all the time.
But that's like, you know, your way of thinking changes as you get older, right?
Yeah.
And
as everybody should. I think everybody should. Or if they don't, they just get stuck, you know, partying.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah, stagnating, man. It's not a good thing. Times change and you got to change with them, right?
Yeah. But you know, some people just living their life YOLO. That's what they say.
Yeah, some people get stuck in something, whether it's good or bad. I don't blame them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, this is where I'm at. You know, just a family man running my company, and I haven't been breaking for like the past like 8 years, 7 years. It's weird, man. It's weird, but it's good that I still have friends that break. You know, like for you to still have interest to ask me questions. I appreciate that.
I think it's people who came before me, they have knowledge to share, and I think it's an important thing to give them a chance to share that, right? Whether it's good information or not is a different thing, but I think the stuff you had to share was pretty good and interesting to hear about, like the Virginia scene and tri-state. Right word, tri-state.
Yeah, tri-state.
Yeah. So hopefully people know a little bit more about that, and then they can
hope so.
Look into some other stuff, look into Southeast Asia, learn about that,
and
just think about like,
or if they want to come visit Bali.
Yeah,
that's not far from me. I also hold jams in Bali every year, and we would get unexpectedly a lot of international b-boys and dancers who are just there at that time, not knowing the jam is happening. Like at that time, you know.
Really,
it's weird. Yeah. So like for the past 4 years, we would just have b-boys from the Netherlands, from New York. There was this dude from New York, from Philly, that I've seen on YouTube as well. Like he had dreads. I forgot his name, but I've seen him in competitions on YouTube. And a lot of European b-boys and dancers that are there, that were there for holidays, they would come to the jam. Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, it's called Raw Materials Jam, and that's actually the first jam that I've been to in Virginia, and that was Xeno's jam. I asked him if I could use the name, and he was like, he said all right. So
yeah, I remember Nick's telling me about that like a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, he came.
Yeah, he was trying to get me to go too. I couldn't get away from, couldn't get the time.
But yeah, the year that he went, it wasn't the best year because I brought it back to the touristy area. It was better in this other part of Bali called Canggu. A lot of international. The vibe was just dope. But that year where Knicks came, we had it in a club. It's a different vibe. Yeah.
Right.
But it was good seeing him.
Yeah. You got to try things out too, and experiment with your jam. Right?
Yeah.
See what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, for sure, man. Maybe you could come out, man, one of these days or next year.
Yeah, hopefully. I want to.
I don't think it's open for international tourists to Bali yet, though.
Yeah. So hopefully, once this stuff gets kind of settled, once it settles down, I don't know. Japan's not doing a great job of handling things, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Jakarta's worse, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. Yeah. So hopefully.
But you should come to Bali, man, when everything is settled.
Yeah, definitely. When I get a chance. Yeah, I went when I was young.
Oh, what year
took a
was
trip.
that?
Oh, it was like 90.
Oh,
93 or something, 94. I was like a little kid. Yeah.
That's before I moved to the States.
Yeah, I got good memories of Bali actually. It's just seeing cool like random performances and stuff, and just like it was cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we'll cut it there. And
all right.
Yeah, but thanks so much for just taking the time to share your story and just some of your thoughts on things.
Likewise, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully in the future, come out there, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be in touch. And I wish everybody health, good luck in everything they do. To everybody who listens to this podcast or YouTube, and I wish you good luck in Japan too, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Stay healthy.
And if people want to check out your clothing brand, do you have
they can check it out on Instagram is urbane.inc, urbain.inc.
Right on. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks again for doing this, and thanks everybody for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you later. Peace.
For sure.
Now